What if the world suddenly entered a new ice age? A question that might seem straight out of a science fiction novel, but let's consider the real-world implications of such a scenario. Imagine the climate and geography of our planet undergoing a drastic shift. Temperate zones would become ice-covered landscapes as glaciers advance into regions currently teeming with life. Polar sea ice would stretch out further while mountainous regions would see the snowline descend, becoming white-capped year-round. Now consider the impact on agriculture and food supply. The breadbaskets of the world, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, would become frozen wastelands, putting a significant strain on food availability. The silver lining? Perhaps a shift towards indoor farming and agriculture in areas less affected by the cold, such as near the equator. What about human society? Imagine populations in colder climates migrating en masse towards the equator to escape the harshest conditions. Energy demands would surge, possibly leading to increased exploitation of fossil fuels and a turn to alternative energy sources like nuclear power to mitigate fuel shortages. Infrastructure would also have to evolve. Buildings and cities would need redesigning for efficiency in the cold, and some infrastructure might even be abandoned as regions become uninhabitable. Transportation would become a significant challenge, with ice-impeded sea routes and problematic land travel due to snow and ice. Let's not forget the economy. Global economies could face severe strain or even collapse with a potential decrease in global trade. Industries would need to adapt rapidly, potentially leading to the rise of new economic powers based on resource control and technological innovation in cold weather survival. Biodiversity and the environment would be profoundly affected as well. Many species would face extinction due to rapid habitat changes, while others would thrive in colder conditions. Forests might die back in areas that become too cold, and the permafrost line would shift southward, potentially releasing trapped greenhouse gases. Lastly, human health and well-being would face significant challenges. Risks of hypothermia, famine, and diseases would increase due to a weakened healthcare infrastructure and reduced food supply. Mental health could also be impacted by the stress of adapting to a harsher environment and possibly by seasonal affective disorder due to reduced sunlight in some areas. In this frosty new world, adaptation strategies would be crucial. Innovations in technology, architecture, clothing, and even genetically modified crops to withstand the cold would become essential. International cooperation would be key to cope with these environmental changes and humanitarian crises. So, while a sudden ice age might seem like a far-fetched scenario, it's a thought-provoking exercise to consider the potential impacts. It reminds us of the intricate interconnections of our world and the delicate balance in which we exist.